As an alien from another planet, I marvel at the unique, rich, and storied history of humankind. And today we're going to visit one of my favorite parts of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Egyptian collection, representing a time in history with prodigious style and fascinating stories of gods and pharaohs. Okay, let's go. Right as you walk in, check this out. Wow. Right here as we enter the Great Hall of the museum is this tremendous statue called Colossal Seated Statue of a Pharaoh. It was made during the reign of Amenemhat II around 1919 through 1885 BC. It weighs nearly 9 tons from a single block of granodiorite. Granodiorite is close to granite, but contains more dark minerals, thus causing the darker color. The museum historians believe it was actually quarried 500 miles from where it was eventually sculpted in Memphis, or present-day Cairo. A lot of our monuments were crafted in slime, so they don't last as long as the earth monuments. By the way, when I talk about the various exhibits, you can assume I'm often reading from the provided plaques. We're passing through Egypt first. The year was around 2381 to 2323 BC, and this is the mastaba tomb of Perneb. Mastaba is the Arabic word for bench, and with their flat appearance, that is what these tombs looked like. The location of this exhibit is right at the entrance of the Egyptian galleries. Perneb might have been a court official, but he was not high royalty. These rooms were not intended to be regularly attended by the living, but were nonetheless adorned with beautiful friezes of the daily life of the departed. This is the mummy of Artemidora from the Roman period, about 90 to 100 AD. Now, just for reference, Julius Caesar died on the Ides of March in 44 BC. Artemidora, a Greek woman, Greeks and Egyptian coincidentally mingled for generations. Well, she died an untimely death at the age of 27. And this is actually a mummy elaborately wrapped in painted and gilded plaster. On the foot is painted the god Anubis, bearing the disk of the moon. I thought this was a pay-what-you-can museum, and it is to a degree. She told me that was only for New York residents, so just keep that in mind. It might be possible that if you just have a sweet disposition and a sweet face, they'll give you a discount anyway. That might happen. I don't know for sure. I couldn't tell you. But it might happen that you'll get the discount anyway. And here we come to the statue of King Mentuhotep II standing in the Jubilee garment from about 2030 to 2000 BC. Interestingly, the head with the red crown of Lower Egypt was found nearby, but may not belong to this particular body. This is Hatshepsut seated from around 1479 to 1458 BC. Hatshepsut was one of the few female pharaohs in thousands of years of ancient Egyptian history. As a female, she didn't inherit the crown when her father died. Instead, she married her young half-brother, Thutmose II, to assist his path to being pharaoh. Well, when Thutmose II died, his son, Thutmose III, became pharaoh even though he was just 3 years old. Hatshepsut ruled in his name, but when he was 8, she officially declared herself a king, or a sort of co-pharaoh, and the two of them ruled together as pharaohs for the next 22 years. This gorgeous sarcophagus of Hatshepsut, made of greywack, which is a hard, dark sandstone, is from 595 to 526 BC. Hatshepsut was a royal seal-bearer, sole companion, chief priest of the shrines of Upper and Lower Egypt. The detailed hieroglyphs that cover the surface of the lid are spells to protect and sustain Hatshepsut in the afterlife. Puzzle box. There's something really mysterious about the black ones. Okay, coming up, something spectacular. Are you ready? It's coming up. Bum, bum, bum. And here we are finally at the spectacular Temple of Dindar, completed by 15 BC. This was a gift from Egypt in 1965 as a thank you to the United States for its contributions to saving Egyptian monuments in Nubia from the water that was to rise behind the high dam at Aswan. On September 2nd, 31 BC, Octavius, who would become Emperor Augustus, defeated Cleopatra and Mark Antony at the naval battle of Actium to become the undisputed master of the Roman Empire. Shrewd politician that he was, he initiated and extended building programs throughout the country. This small temple, the Temple of Dindar, which was part of that program, honored the goddess Isis, and beside her, Pedesi and Pior, deified sons of a local Nubian ruler. This political move by Augustus was meant to please the local population. Ordinary people were not allowed to enter the temple. Only priests entered through the stone gateway. The walls of the temple inclined for strength and stability, and the walls were adorned with reliefs. The pharaoh, as supreme priest, prays and officiates before the deities. But here the pharaoh is, in fact, the Roman Emperor Augustus. The coloring, here highlighted by a projector, shows how the temple might have been originally painted back in 15 BC. Quite colorful, eh? Remember the female pharaoh Hatshepsut that we talked about earlier? Well, this beautiful, pristine granite piece is the Sphinx of Hatshepsut from around 1579 to 1458 BC. It is meant to portray Hatshepsut with the body of a lion and a human head wearing a nemes headcloth and a false beard. It was one of at least 6 granite sphinxes that stood in Hatshepsut's mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari. And of course, this is the lovely Central Park just outside. See my Central Park episode, number 147, for a view of Cleopatra's Needle, an obelisk from 1600 BC that resides just behind the museum. This great room is just a lovely place to sit and ponder the passage of human history. History from thousands of years ago, just sitting there right before your eyes. It's quite amazing when you think about it. So let's leave Egypt and go check out something else. Let's check out some armor. Cool, huh? Well, humans and Gugu-Gee-ans, tune in next time when we explore other areas of this vast and beautiful Met Museum. By the way, very quickly, if you like the show, consider Buy Me a Coffee to help support the show. Buy Me a Coffee is a great way for creators and artists to accept one-time support or membership ongoing from their fans for the price of a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/BrainFire to help the show. Thank you.
Take some coffee and some bagels and get out of here to where the weather